Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to this live stream. Thank you very much for coming. I hope you are well. I am more well than I have been, and I'm going to do my best with this live stream. So, what I thought we would do today is we would have some questions about the sort of YouTube side, the business side. And if you have any, please leave them in the comments. If you can start your question with question in capital letters, then I'll be able to see them easier than if they're just in with everything else. I have completely lost my voice this week. About 3 days ago, I couldn't say thank you. I couldn't say excuse me. I couldn't say anything. So it is very nice to have the full range. I have the full words again. Nice to see you all. Nice to see you all. Yes, I'm very, very happy to be back. Very happy. You don't really realize how much. I mean, my job does rely on my voice quite a lot, but you don't realize how much you use your voice, so you can't use it anymore. And there's Captain Hudson. That may be the only time we see him. But yes, I have moved things around here as well too. We're facing a different direction. Hopefully you're all right with that. Not a question from Max, but he says you're back. Yay! Not a question. Thank you very much, Max. It is nice to be back. I don't really know what that cold was. It just took me out for a week. I've not had a cold that bad for a long time. Sounding much better. Yes, thank you very much. I did postpone our Patreon podcast this week, so I couldn't get any words out, but I'm going to make sure I do all of the questions next week. So we did a live stream kind of like this about a year ago, and I thought it was time to bring it back. I know we have a lot of people who watch these live streams who have their own channels or they want to film things when they do cruises. So I thought this would be a good time to answer those questions because I have been on YouTube for a long time now, it feels like, and I started my website in 2016. So I am lucky enough to have been someone who was cruising as a child. I was 11 on my first cruise, loved it from that first cruise when I was 11. But I kind of just was lucky enough to grow up thinking cruises were fun. And then I sort of became an adult and realized that not everyone else thought that. And I thought, I'm going to show them, I'm going to write this down. And that's what I did in 2016. It took me about 5 years before I was able to leave my day job. There was no plans for the first 4 years for this to be a business, but it has worked out very, very well. And I love doing this. So yes. Oh, Alana's in here. Hello, Alana. It's nice to see you. Glad to be able to catch you alive today, and awesome you're feeling better. Thank you. I feel like I'm very much on the mend. I'm 90% better. So hopefully that was just a bad week. I'm very, very grateful though. I was thinking, if I had my old job and I had this cold, I would have still had to got on the train. I would have had to walk to the train station in the rain. I'd have to sit in an office and try not to spread it around, but still spread it around because there was no choice. So I'm so grateful that I can work from home and I can sort of set my own schedule. I'm definitely an evening worker anyway. The 9 to 5 is not. I do work 9 to 5, but I also get my best work done outside of 9 to 5. Oh, good question about shorts. So, is there any benefit to splitting YouTube shorts to their own channel? So, for a while, YouTube was really pushing shorts to everybody. It was pushing them for me to make them. And I sort of found that my audience don't really like it. A lot of the comments I would get would be, this is too fast. This is too short. I don't know what's going on. And I figure I don't particularly want the audience that want YouTube shorts. I see YouTube shorts. I saw one the other day and it was called something about, the terrible, worst, awful things that can happen on cruises. And it was waves that are very, very normal. And if someone's watching that stuff, I don't feel like I'm missing out. So yeah, I don't put too many shorts on my channel anymore. If I do, they're just cut down versions of the long videos because I figure if they like the short section, they'll like the full video, right? So fingers crossed they'll come across. But yes. Troy says, how do you guard against burnout? Have you worked out a work-life balance? I think work-life balance is a bit of a myth. The thing is sometimes I say to myself, Emma, you should take a break. You should do what everyone else does. Turn on the TV. And I'm like, this is so boring. To me, I love this. I am absolutely addicted, I think, to running my business and cruising. And that's why I did this for so long before I had any plans on it becoming a business. So I don't think I'm the good person to ask about that, to be honest. But I have a good balance for me. It's not, I don't think it should be recommended. Also, look, Captain Hudson fell over. I didn't notice that. How do you let your subscribers know you're looking for Patreons? I don't really very well. Only on these live streams do I mention Patreon. It's something I could do better at if I wanted to, but I don't particularly. I really like our Patreon. It's a small group. People pay $5 a month. They get podcasts, they get behind the scenes stuff. And I like that being like an exclusive group. I don't know. It's not something I don't promote it so much. Connie says, "How would you address Facebook?" And Matt. So yeah, this is Matt from Royal Caribbean blog. I love that guy. I'm sure you do too. And his Facebook page was shut down after 12 years for no reason, and that can happen anytime to anybody. Which is, I know I probably annoy people by saying, please go to my website and enter your email address, please. Um, but that's why, because I don't own Facebook, I don't own Instagram, I don't own YouTube. YouTube could shut down. My website and my email list is the only thing that I own. So please let me have your email address. I send an email just once a week, maybe twice a week if there's something happening. And it says, when my next live stream is, here's my new content, anything I need to let you know about Captain Hudson books or anything like that. And yeah, hopefully my Facebook page never gets shut down, but yeah, it's Facebook. It's Facebook. How did you learn to edit so well? Oh, thank you very much. Trial and error for about, I don't know how many years. 2017, I started my YouTube channel. So it's quite a long time. I made, I think, 500 videos. So you learn how to do stuff after 500 videos. I don't think I do things in the best way, but I do them in a way that works. So that's about it. I was going to ask to see Hudson, then bam, read my minds. Amazing. Hi Emma, do sponsors approach you first, or do you have to go and look for them? Please forgive me if it takes me more time to read the questions and to think and stuff this week. I am mostly made of cold and flu medicine. I'm not sure if I should have taken it for an entire week, all day, every day. But hey, just bear with me. So both, I suppose. Sponsors approach me all the time for Babbel, Skillshare, NordVPN. I'm not interested in any of those. I don't use those. I ignore those emails. But the sponsors that I do myself that you see on my channel, they're all ones that I have reached out to them. So for example, we had a live stream recently sponsored by these map people, which was brilliant. And that's because I went to them and I said, I have shown people that they like this map for, I don't know, 5 years perhaps. Wouldn't it be good to sponsor a live stream? We could make something, we made these little things together way. We could give people a discount and that worked really well. So I definitely prefer, looking at what things I use and going to sponsors. A lot more work though, a lot more work. What editing software do you use, a Mac or Windows? So I'm on a Mac and I use DaVinci. I used Final Cut Pro for many years before this, and then I've moved to DaVinci, and I really like DaVinci. So yes. Matt says, please repost your questions only once or twice and keep them short. That's your best chance. Yes, absolutely. The shorter you can keep the questions, the better, because I'm trying to speak and also read at the same time. It's a weird set of skills. Yeah, if you can put question on it, that really helps. Like this one from Anna, I see it straight away, and I read that while I was still answering. When people ask what you do for a living, what do you tell them? I tend to pick one of the jobs that I do and just go with that. So I might go with, I'm a writer. I do a lot of writing. I make videos. I edit it. I work with travel agents. I do all these different things. And normally if someone asks me, I'll just pick one of those. I'm not going into all of it. It's too much. Ken says, how many subscribers before sponsors are interested? Subscribers is completely just pointless. It's completely pointless. I think YouTube might get rid of it at some point, and I would welcome that. It doesn't mean anything. So it's really not about subscribers. I guess it is about consistent views, but I do know people who have got sponsors when they have had no views on their own channels, because they'll go to a sponsor and say, I can make content for you. That's quite cool. So it really isn't about subscribers. It's just about, do you have an audience that's interested in what you want? I suppose. What kind of microphone is that? It's called a Blue Yeti, but this one's red. But it's called Blue Yeti. When you return from a cruise with thousands of video clips, how do you organize them? Yes, thousands, literally thousands for every cruise that I take. So I have everything organized by year, within the year, month, within the month, cruise, within the cruise, it'll be restaurants, bars, cabin, corridor, outside shots, ports. And then within those ones, it'll be subfolders. So it'll be, ports underneath that will be Valencia, Barcelona, wherever I went. And that's where everything is. I only started doing that about a year and a half ago, maybe. So when I find something that I want from a cruise 3 years ago, I have to just look through 1,000 clips. But it's got a lot better, and it's It's so helpful for me to think, oh, I remember that in a cabin. I remember the cabin I took this picture. I can now find it, which is good. What made you start YouTube? Brilliant question. So I started my website first. I started that in 2016. I started that when I took a Cunard cruise, and it was just so different from any cruises I'd done before. And I thought, what on earth is this? I'm going to write this down. And then I sort of started YouTube just because there's certain things that are easier to show in video. It's really hard to write a blog post to show the view from the elevator on Independence of the Seas, for example. I think that's one of my very first videos. So I started there, and it was just a place to house things. I had no thoughts of anything. I put things on there with copyrighted music and everything. Silly me. But that's where it started. When I sort of thought about it a bit more, I would create content like 7 reasons to go on a Christmas cruise, 3 reasons I love Mediterranean cruises, stuff like that. Me sitting and talking, me comparing the differences between different cruise lines. At that point, I was cruising once a year. Uh, yeah, maybe twice a year at the beginning. So it was a lot of me talking at home, but I already done a lot of cruises, so that was okay. And then I moved, obviously the pandemic happened, so that stopped me from making cabin tours and ship tours and stuff. And I moved a bit into cruise news, and that's when my channel took off. Is the pandemic? You wouldn't think it, but without that, I don't know that I ever would have been able to leave my job. Yeah, I don't know. There's a parallel world where that didn't happen. I don't know what I'm like. Do you just use your smartphone, or do you have a professional camera? So 98% of the content you see on YouTube is filmed on my phone. 98%. The only ones that aren't really are where it looks like it's a drone. I have an Insta 360. That's something I've added recently. That's not something anyone needs, but I think it's fun. And I do have a DJ Pocket, like a very small camera that I use sometimes for outside shots. It has like nice, sees the blue sky, very very nice. But 98% I would say is my iPhone. I don't want to use professional cameras. I know nothing about cameras. I film my videos at home on a proper camera. When I'm sat here, that's a proper camera. But even still, that's like, it's a Canon M50 is what I use, and it's just press the on button, press the off button. I know nothing. I know nothing about it. What is your shirt today? Thank you very much, Scott. So this shirt is a new design. It's new, but I've had it for a while, and it says "Cruiser's gonna cruise." I don't think I need to say more than that. I really like this one. I wear this one all the time. This does remind me I should put up the little discount. So we do a discount on our live streams for whatever I'm wearing. And here it is, this one. Gonna cruise. There you go. So 24 hours only, just for people who are, here on the live stream. And that's that. Yeah. It should be not flipped for you. For me, it's flipped, but should be okay. Would you ever consider doing a minute segment of cruise news or trivia again in your videos? I don't think so. We did cruise trivia during the pandemic, and it was great fun. It was great fun, but it was a lot of prep for me to get less views and less subscribers and way worse stuff than me just talking, which is way easier. So it didn't make sense to do. News is great, but it only exists for a day. And I don't want to create really any content that is irrelevant in a month, because I've built such a back catalog now of, 400-500 videos. When people come to me and they say, Emma, have you done an MSC cruise? Yes, here you go. MSC, what do you want? Preziosa, Seaview. I have all that stuff. So yeah, I focus more on that. There's so many people who do such good cruise news. There's nothing I could say that they haven't already said. So I very lucky to be able to just keep up with what everyone else is saying. Yeah. Any plans to sell the quirky Captain Hudsons that you mentioned without hats? So I mentioned this week that Mercy Juniper, who create the Captain Hudsons, they sent me $1,800 as like a sorry that we made some quirky ones. I think they did refund people if they wanted refunds, but a lot of people said, nah, it's for charity. I don't want a refund. And sometimes they'd show up without hats or something. So I can now add that to the donation. But the quirky ones, it's quite funny because you would think people wouldn't want one that has an upside down foot or something, but they've become like gold dust. People love them, which is really cool. So yeah, it's not, I don't have them, I can't sell them. It's people who got them. It's just random. And hopefully I don't want them to be quirky. I want them to be good, like right. But no one's complained. So I'll add that to the donation amount. I keep trying to work it out. It's really tricky to work out how much we raised in total, because there was a mystery person who was matching sponsors for a while, which is crazy. So we're over £100,000 now. So it's more than that in dollars. So pretty good, pretty good. Ali says, what cruise line would you recommend for someone in their 20s that doesn't want a party cruise and is on a budget? I would recommend you go to emmacruises.com and download my free guide. Compares all of the major cruise lines, budget, how busy they are, how many ships they have, everything like that. That's everything I know. All of the cruise information I have is in a free course that you can get. And I think I could answer this for the rest of the live stream, the next 45 minutes. But yeah. Next question's from David. He says, why didn't you eat the Fred Olsen biscuits? So here are my Fred Olsen biscuits they sent for the launch of their brochure or something. I'm not eating them because they last until November, I think. And there's so many times where I don't have any good snacks and I want them as emergency snacks. So that's why I'm keeping them. Yeah. How do you get to grips with nodes in DaVinci? We're struggling. No, I don't know. I don't do anything fancy for editing. How often are you recognized on cruises? Every day now, most days, multiple times, sometimes in the car park before I've got on the ship. Quite a lot. It is nice. Yeah. Any conspiracies around Morella putting Discovery up for sale? I've not heard of any conspiracies, if there are any. Can you share how you got into cruise planning? So I'm not a travel agent myself. I haven't done all the travel agent exams, but everyone assumes I am a travel agent, right? So I used the travel agent myself for about, I don't know, a couple of years since the pandemic, booked maybe 7 cruises with her. So I thought I will recommend her if people ask me, and that's it. And then I expanded into the US because most of my audience are from the US and I wanted a good US agent. I need to learn about the US cruise market because it's different from the UK. So yes, just my recommendations. How can we help? For example, can we like an upcoming live chat to bring the recommendations up in advance? Likes always help, yeah, with live streams. Neil says, don't forget to like. Thank you. That's much appreciated. Yeah. Are the latest orders of Captain Hudson shipping yet? It is early May they're supposed to arrive, so we are heading very fast towards May. So soon. Ooh, so many questions. Thank you so much, everybody. Some weird comments as well. Thank you to the moderators who look after these chats. Frank says, you say we a lot in your videos. Do you go with your significant other, family, or employee, or is it a royal we? I never cruise solo anymore. I'm always with friends, family, my other half, Jono, and with someone when I say we. Is there another Captain Hudson coming out? At some point, yes. I don't know what we want to do, though, for Captain Hudson version 5. It is making me laugh that this guy is down. I was thinking maybe a lot of the pictures that I get sent of Hudson are him with food. So maybe we could do like a Chef Hudson or something like just change his hat to a chef's hat. I think that would be cool. Would you have a travel agency in the future? No. Some of the things that travel agents deal with, they are absolute superstars, and I could not do it. They are brilliant. You should do the Cruiser's Gonna Cruise logo on the back with a small Hudson on the front. It could do, yes. Captain Hudson with a cookie. He does, version 2 does have a cookie. This one, you see a little brown thing on his front? He has a cookie in there. Robert says, have you thought about including more interviews or conversations from other people on a cruise? I mean, I've thought about it. I don't want to, is the honest answer. I don't know who I would interview and who people would want to hear from, particularly. If I was watching just a random, I think if I was watching my own videos and all of a sudden they were interviewing someone else, I'd be like, I don't know who this is, right? So, will you do a limited edition signed copies of the upcoming books? I can't because they're going to be Amazon published. We're not using a traditional publisher, so they won't exist until people order them. And I don't know where Amazon is printing them. You know, if you order it in the US, they'll print it close to you. If you order in Germany, they'll print it close to you. I can't go there and sign them. So yeah, I can't, I'm afraid. It doesn't work like that. Anna says, just joined Patreon at last. I'm excited to hear the podcast. Do you have 160 or something that you can listen to now if you have a lot of time on your hands? What other social media sites do you find are useful? So I have pretty much all of them. When I'm on a cruise, I'll post on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. They're the main ones. Also the YouTube community tab. I do have TikTok. Nah. I really enjoy TikTok, but not really for work, more just for fun for me. Um, but yes, they're all useful for different things, I suppose. I like Instagram because I share when I'm on a cruise. It's the most up to date. This is what I'm eating. This is what I'm doing. I think that's quite nice. I think it's quite interesting. I like to see that from other people. And on Facebook, it's sharing my content that I wrote 6 months ago or a year ago. So it's so good that that still gets seen. We have our Facebook group, loads of things. I see this question, but I don't see the question, I'm afraid. But it's amazing how my eyes just go straight to that. How about a healthcare Hudson with a white lab coat? Yeah, we could do something doctory. That would be kind of cool. That would be quite fitting. We are sending a bunch of the Captain Hudsons to Mercy ships. So we'll see what happens there. This is the first time doing that. Oh, Connie says, how much works is interesting. Used to think it was sitting in a warehouse. Yeah, you can do that. I mean, you can do that. But if I order this and I'm in the UK, it comes in less than a week, like 4 or 5 days. That's them printing it and sending it. So it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to have them in a warehouse. What is the large piece of fabric behind you that has Captain Hudson all over it? It's a blanket. This is a blanket. There's a chair there. And this is like a plush blanket that I have. How about a Muster Hudson? We already have Hudson version 2 is in a life jacket, so I think he would be the Muster Hudson. Can you tell us the story of your first brand sponsorship with a cruise line? What would we class as my first brand sponsorship with a cruise line? Probably the trip I did last year with Norwegian, where I created content for their YouTube channel. That was my first time being hired to do a thing. And for someone like me who started cruising at 11 with Norwegian Cruise Line, to see myself on their website and their YouTube channel, it just blows my mind. It was absolutely fantastic. We're doing something similar this year. So I'm heading back to Alaska. And I know everyone's really excited about Alaska. And I'm excited about Alaska too. And I'm recreating the exact cruise that I took for my first cruise. So we'll see how it has changed since then. Yeah. Ooh, interesting question. Thank you, moderators. I see things disappearing. How many video clips do you normally take while on a cruise? At least 1,000. A week cruise would be at least 1,000. Yeah, it's cool. It's quite a lot. It's a lot of storage, and photos as well. Take photos of everything that way and that way. So we have photos for everything. Mustard Hudson. We want Hudson dressed as a mustard bottle. It would definitely be ketchup. If he's going to have any sort of condiment, it's going to be ketchup for sure. Can we buy the Captain Hudson blanket? Is it in the Emma store? It is. Yeah, it's emmacruisesshop.com. It is in there. I like it. Hudson likes it. I think it's cute. Currently attaching my map to the wall while watching you. Had to read that a few times. That didn't make sense. But you mean one of these maps that you ordered? That is amazing. Awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone's photos of those. It's always cool. My brother has one and he painted the wall blue so it looks like the sea, which is quite nice. Oh, thank you to Jackie for sharing the link. That is much, much appreciated. John says, if we watch the commercials in their entirety, does the creator get more dollar? I have no idea. And if you did, it would be 0.0001 cents. So I wouldn't recommend that you bother doing that. It's very nice. It's very kind of you. But it makes no noticeable difference that I can't tell. A lot of people, have YouTube Premium. Of course, that skips the ads, or people have other things to skip the ads. Do you have a template for how do you shoot a sailing, like how you film food or activities? How do you keep it fresh for yourself? I don't have a template. I definitely have, when I go on a cruise, there's things on my to-do list that I need to do, things I need to film. I already have normally a title, a thumbnail planned out before I take the cruise. I know what I'm going there to do. And I know now pretty much the format of my videos because I've done 400 of the same sort of thing. So yeah, I just film absolutely everything. There's nothing that I don't film. There's nothing I eat that I don't film. I film everything. Every entertainment that I go to, I sort of rework it afterwards. If you notice, I mean, my cruise videos, if you just listen to it, you would think the cruise is like 3 days long because it's 7 days long, but I've edited it down to 3 because, I'm working as well. No one wants to see me. Oh, I sat in my cabin for 4 hours. sorting out my website's gone down and replying to these emails and having a Zoom call. Where do you order the map? If you go to the link in my description, you'll find it. If you go to enjoythewood.com/Emma Cruises, that's my link. And then that'll automatically do the discount, I think. Or if not, the code's Emma Cruises. Do you plan on paper or online? I do all of my stuff in the computer. I can barely write. I don't write anything anymore. Oh, just started a cruise channel. How do I get it out? This question confused me. I guess you mean you've made videos and how do you get people to be able to see them? The way YouTube works really is you create a video and it will test it with a very small amount of your subscribers. Say if you have 10, if you have 100, it will test it with those people first. If you have none, it'll show it to people who aren't subscribed, of course, and it'll test it. And if it likes the way that those 100 people watch the video, it'll show it to 1,000. If it likes the way they see it, 100,000, a million. It doesn't mean they're going to click on it and they're going to watch it, but that's how it decides, who's going to see it. If at the beginning, I think I used to get a lot more views from search traffic because people would be searching Norwegian Cruise Line. It would come up with my videos and they would watch it. Now it's not really that at all. It's people who don't know that they want to watch cruise content. And I come up in the sides because YouTube has done that test and decided we want to show this to more people, which is why I see quite a lot. I've seen quite a lot of channels recently who have gained 20,000 subscribers in a day through some means, some dodgy means. And it makes me laugh because the way YouTube works is it tests your video with your subscribers. If you've bought a 20,000 robots, the robots aren't going to watch it and YouTube's never going to show it to anyone. So I don't think people understand that's what they're doing if they buy subscribers or views. But it will never work then. Never. It's not how it works. So yes. I know it's frustrating at the beginning when people aren't watching your stuff because no one is seeing it. But you just consistently do it. They will come. They will come at some point. It took me, I started in 2017, my channel. I think it was about 18 months before I made any money. And that was like £13. And I was uploading a video every single week. So yeah, keep doing it. That's the main thing. Keep doing it and get a tiny little bit better every single time. And YouTube will show it. I am going to just blow my nose, but I'm not going to do it live because it's weird. So I have prepared a video for you to watch while I blow my nose. Okay? See you in a minute. I am back. Actually, people didn't leave then. That was amazing. I was expecting every time I blow my nose, we lose 100 people watching, but that didn't happen. So that is a very, very sneaky peek. Sneaky peek of the third book, the third Captain Hudson book. We're going to be releasing 3 at the same time. Apparently that's how you do kids' books. So that'll be very, very cool. Didn't know Hudson can swim. Hudson can do whatever he wants to do. Oh. Oh, thank you very much. Your video style is inspirational. Love the pace, although I can't talk that fast. I don't talk that fast. That's the thing. Sometimes I get comments and they're like, don't you take a breath? Do you think I recorded that voiceover in one go? Because I wish. I never record a voiceover in one go. I never record more than 2 sentences in one go. So, the sound is cut out. Yeah. Video yourself recording your book. Yeah, well, I would like to do a voiceover at some point. There's a lot of accents in there, though, that I'm not sure that I should do. Bless you. Thank you very much. There she blows. Nice. Yeah. Feel free to sneeze or cough regularly. Thank you very much. Are all your voiceovers shot to video or are some audio only? The only voiceovers I do are, I come back from a cruise, I write a script, I voice over the script, and then I edit to the voiceover. So there's nothing I do that is just audio only, apart from our Patreon podcast. At some point, I would like to probably do a regular podcast, but I'm not sure what I would want to do it on. and I wouldn't want to do it on cruise news or cruise tips. We have enough cruise tips and cruise news already. The things that I'm interested in is I really am interested in, like, for example, my most recent cruise, the ship that I was on. She was built in 1995, had almost no balconies. Then they decided they needed balconies, so they just stuck on hundreds on the end. Like, I think that's so interesting. I really like the sort of the history of the ships and stuff. So maybe just interesting things that I find out that I want to share about cruising for people who like cruising. But we will see. How important is consistency in thumbnails, fonts, and formats? I think it's nice, but I have changed my thumbnails a million trillion times. I don't know that you would always look at mine and say that is Emma's, always. But that's not always what I want. You know, I create some videos and I'm thinking this is just for the people who have already seen my videos, right? This is for those people. But sometimes I want to see what else is out there. You know, someone who's never considered a cruise, who doesn't know who I am. There's no point me having my face on the front because they don't know who I am, right? So I have different thumbnails for different things depending on who I want to click on it, to be honest. So some of them, you know, I'll be in it quite big. And if you recognize me, that's cool. But sometimes I'm not in it at all. Quite often I'm not in it at all. And that's my best performing videos sometimes. So yeah. Is Captain Hudson a boy cat or a girl cat? I mean, the real Hudson is a boy. Captain Hudson can be whatever. Like, he's just a cat. Consistent fonts do draw my eye when scrolling through the YouTube feed. Yes, it's good. It's nice. You know, if you don't have any reason to change it, then keep it the same. But don't be afraid, you know, if you've done 10 with a font and then it doesn't work with the background, do something different. I have some that are completely different from any others, and it's okay. Do you ever get tired of filming and documenting everything, or would you like a relaxing cruise? Are you always excited to work? Sometimes I do think about this and I think, oh, well, imagine if I wasn't filming the menus, maybe I would be taking a nice picture with my mum or something. Maybe. But then I look back at the cruises that I did before this, and I was still taking pictures of the menus. I was still taking pictures of the everything. Nothing has changed. That's what I've always wanted to do. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I don't. I think also because I do such different cruises, it's not like I just cruise with celebrity over and over again. I do some really big ships, I do some river cruises, I do Northern Lights ferries. Like, they're all so different. It's so different. Once I took a river cruise, then a Northern Lights ferry, and then when I got back on a bigger ship, I was like, this is like it's like doing it all over again for the first time. So yeah. Do you have any strategy on what times of the week or to release videos? No. When it is done, it is done. I try and give my Patreons early access for at least a day or two, and then it's done. I don't normally publish on my live stream day just because I think you've probably had enough of me for today. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like, that is fine. Why do some videos do badly at first and then go viral after a year or two? Fantastic question. I've had videos that did all right, but like had a few thousand views, and then 2 years later they got 800,000 views. There's lots of theories. I'm not sure, but one of my theories, I'm not sure is, I don't know. I'm not sure it's official as a theory, but think about it. YouTube, right, makes its money from ads. There's certain times of the year where cruise lines are going to pay YouTube more to show you cruise ads, right? So it makes sense that if YouTube now has £1 million to spend on TUI River Cruise ads and it has some videos, maybe it will show them to more people. I don't know. It's not official. But sometimes I think, I don't know. It's a mystery. Also, that's a very extreme case. But what I sometimes have is if I publish a video that is inside cabin tour, Norwegian Cruise Line, something very, very standard for what I do. At the beginning, I'll get loads of views and then it will die off. My audience has seen it, it's done. If I do something that's different, recently I did one about my Asia cruise and it was all about the excursions. That's not the kind of content I normally make. So my regular audience didn't really watch it, but then they found an audience that wanted to watch it. Which is why the way YouTube sort of ranks videos is a bit weird. It always gives you a 1 out of 10. So it'll say, no one is watching this. No one is clicking on it. This is terrible. And then 2 weeks later, it's like, this is your best performing video, Emma. Great. Well, thanks. Why did you like put me through that then? Um, oh, Connie says, does YouTube pay the same a year later as it does in the first week? 800,000 2 years later pay the same. Yeah, I mean, it depends on different things, different times a year. You know, companies will spend more on ads. But yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, maybe YouTube will be in a better place in 2 years or a worse place in 2 years, so that might affect it. But yeah, it doesn't matter. Like if I get 1,000 views today on my last video or on one that I published 5 years ago, it is the same. Apart from when people watch my videos, there's a really old video that people keep commenting on, and I'm like, oh gosh, I forgot this still existed. But I am grateful for that. Don't you feel weird filming and talking in crowds? I don't film and talk in crowds because, yes, I would feel weird. I don't do that. I don't talk to the camera anymore. Yeah, I don't do that. What time of year do you think they show more cruise ads? I mean, in the UK, January, February, March is wave season. That's sort of when all the travel agents ramp up their selling of cruises for the year. So that's when I would think. That's when I would think. But also, just November, December, everyone is ramping up their ad budget. So to just traditionally, RPMs are higher and then so don't know. Summer's probably the worst because people don't really book cruises, I guess, in summer because it's already all right at home. Should we correlate the mentions of ketchup pizza to user retention, conversions, and likes? I can see in all my videos a retention spike or a retention dip. If I say something and people dip off, then I can see that. The pizza ketchup thing's never done that. Maybe people rewind to be like, what? What was that? But I've never seen people leave, which is cool. We just got monetized. What did you get your first month after being monetized? I got £13. £13. I remember that. It was amazing. £13. About 18 months into my YouTube channel. How obsessed are you with the data and analytics on YouTube Studio? So before I worked in cruising, I worked in data development. I did a maths degree. I have a very logical sort of businessy brain, I think. Too much because I've had to delete the YouTube Studio app from my phone because it was the last thing I checked at night and the first thing I checked in the morning. If I was brushing my teeth, if I was in the bath, no matter what I was doing, if I was on a train, walking somewhere, in that app, and that's not healthy. So I sort of have to put these rules on myself. That's the only way. I don't have self-control unless I take something away from me. So now I only look at it on the computer, and I think that's better. Can you ask for some types of ads to be not shown on your videos? You can broadly, like if I said I don't want gambling, I can say that. You can't say, oh, I don't want Royal Caribbean or something like that. But big categories, like if you didn't want alcohol, or I think you can even do it with things like, say you're a vegan channel, you don't want meat. Fair enough. I think you can do stuff like that, but it has to be a big category. Have you pursued a Pepsi Max sponsorship? If not, why? I would love to, but Pepsi Max don't, as far as I know, they don't sponsor people like me. They sponsor football stadiums. It's a different game. But I would love it. I should do that. What do I have to lose? Nothing. If they could send me some Pepsi Max, that would save me a lot of money because I drink an awful lot of it. Do you tape different videos depending on the year? No, not really. I don't really pay much attention to. Do you mean within the year or this year versus last year, or not really? No, because the thing about YouTube is you're creating a backlog of content. So what I could do is I could not publish anything in December and wait till January when more people are interested in cruising, but the video will still exist in January even if I publish it in December, right? So yeah, I don't really think about that. The only way to see her boyfriend is in sunglasses reflections. That is impressive or creepy. Like, I'm not sure. But that's not the only way. If you just scroll back on my Instagram, you'll see pictures of me and Jono. We've been together over a decade, so there's plenty of pictures of us. Yeah, YouTube Studio is a great tool, but it can be addictive. Yes, it can. I think that's the thing about running your own business is it is brilliant because there's no 9 to 5, there's no goals you have to hit, but also that means that you never stop and you never achieve a thing. There's always more to do. But I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Just saying hey from Texas. Hello, Texas. It's nice to see you. Nice to see Cruise Boys coming in. Good to see you. How long does it take you on average to publish a video after returning from a cruise and editing? So I like to give myself a week to do the script. Um, I work best on the script when it is dark. I don't know why. I try and do it in the day. It doesn't work. What I need to do is the more, Zoom calls, the more sort of businessy stuff in the day, and then the creative stuff in the evening. Just works for me. Don't know why. But I try and give myself a week to do the script. And then if it is a cabin video, edited in a week. If it is a full cruise video, normally 2 weeks. So say sort of 3 weeks. Oh, yes, I saw. Cruising the Cut David went on a cruise after watching your channel. Would you go on a narrowboat holiday? I did have a Zoom call recently with David. Such a nice guy. And yes, I would. Absolutely. That'd be really cool. I would like that. I know nothing about it at all, but that would be really nice. Yes. Ooh. Found a TUI cruise out of the US to Barbados and tried to book the cruise, but it won't let me. They won't book an American. Have you run into this? So for years, I've had this problem. Marella slash TUI, the British company, have said we can't process US cards. That's what they've said. But the latest thing they've said to me is that's all fixed. Americans can book, no problem. Make of that what you will. Is 1,000 subscribers enough to quit your day job? I mean, subscribers doesn't mean anything. If you have 1,000 subscribers and you're getting 1 million views a month, then perhaps. If you have 1,000 subscribers and you're getting 1,000 views a month, absolutely not. Yeah, it doesn't. Subscribers don't mean anything. It doesn't correlate to anything. How do you keep your scripts fresh and different for each video? I mean, every cruise is very different. Even if I'm saying, right, talk about main dining room, that's very different on every single cruise. Very different. And different things stand out to me. I sort of come back and I think, right, if I was sitting down now, if I was going to the pub now and I was meeting someone who doesn't go on a cruise, I try and make my content okay for people who aren't going on a cruise. What do I remember? What was funny? What was interesting? What would I say? I write all those things down. I go through my footage afterwards to make sure, if there's something I've forgotten to talk about. So I can't remember everything. And then I add that into the script, and then that's how I do it. And yeah, I just sort of write as I speak now because it's not good grammar. It's how I speak, but it works. That's how I do it. So many questions. Thank you so much. Do you prefer making certain types of cruise content? There's certain ones I prefer for certain reasons. Like I have done 8 inside cabin reviews, maybe. So am I excited to do that? Well, I don't know. But am I happy to have a script, to have almost an identical script, a really easy video to make? Yes. So sometimes the ones that are hardest to make are most exciting. So it's kind of all on a scale. And I'm happy sometimes to have something that's easy, but not that exciting to me, but something that is exciting to someone else. Versus sometimes I'll make a video like the one I did about the Asia itineraries and excursions I did. That was really interesting to me, really hard to make, but not necessarily for my audience. So it's a bit different. Yes. What are your thoughts on using AI to help with content? I mean, I talk to AI a lot. I use it just to bounce ideas off of. If I have a title and I'm thinking this is just too long, I'll sometimes ask AI, can you give me 7 examples of making this shorter? Sometimes they're absolutely terrible. You couldn't just use it alone, but for like a friend, it's quite good. I've always had colleagues, I've always worked in a normal 9 to 5 office job where you can say, "Oh, can you come read this email or something?" Whereas now, most of the time, I'm by myself, so I do talk to AI. That does sound a bit weird, doesn't it? But I do talk to AI. Oh, sounding great. Thank you very much. I'm really impressed my voice has held out this well. So fingers crossed, things will be better now. And I'm so, so glad that I got ill while I was at home. It's no fun, no fun traveling when you're ill. So I do find it a bit, I don't know, not funny, but interesting that I cruise and I travel as much as I do. And I've not had a cold as bad as I had the last week in the last few years. But I stayed at home and I got sick. So yeah, it has just sort of delayed my work because I couldn't do a voiceover. No one wants to listen to someone who's ill, are they? So I've done a lot of writing this week, and then this week I'm going to record my full Morella video. So that's the one about the 4-night all-inclusive cruise that I took. And talking about keeping it fresh, I mean, that cruise is so different from even I cruised on that ship before, but this cruise was so different. Talking to AI is very scary. It's brilliant. AI is really interesting. It's good. It's smart. It knows what to say. Yeah, you need some skills. Absolutely, you do. Yes. Um, with YouTube memberships, is there still a need for third-party monetization platforms like Patreon? Um, I could see YouTube buying Patreon at some point, to be honest. But for me, I keep both because I think the experience is better on Patreon. On Patreon, you get an email every time there's new content. There's direct messages with me. On YouTube, I don't know if someone comes and goes. I can't see anything other than their username. I think maybe if YouTube makes their memberships the same as the other ones, then people would move it across. But yeah, I have both at the moment. The things that are on both are the same, so it doesn't matter. YouTube does keep a third, Patreon 10%, so there is that. Do you ever coach fellow creators? I used to do consultations for a while. I did stop doing it. I have a couple that I still do that are really long term that I've done for years, but I did used to a little bit, yeah. Have you joined Cameo? I have joined Cameo before, yes. I have stopped just because I don't have enough time to do everything. And I figure if I can, the way I tend to look at it is here's all the things I need to do. Which ones affect the least amount of people if I don't do them? So if I don't write a script, that's hundreds of thousands of people. If I don't, I would love to reply to every Instagram DM, but if I don't reply, that's one person there, right? That's one-on-one. No one else is going to see it. And same with Cameo. So I have to just focus my time on where it has the most impact. If I write a script, that'll be on YouTube for years. That'll be re-edited on Facebook. That'll be on my website. That'll be going out when I send my newsletters and stuff like that. So yeah, my newsletter is really the most important thing to me. If you don't already get my newsletters, that's where I share, new content, new blog posts, when my live streams are, when Captain Hudson's coming, do we have any giveaways, anything like that. So please, emmacruises.com/news. If I don't already have your email, if you can do one thing, I would really, really appreciate it. Oh, Cruise Boys say you have helped a lot. Yeah, I do get messages. I do try whenever I can if people ask me things. Yeah, exactly. Too bad we can't gift Patreon memberships. Exactly. There's some things that are better about YouTube. People gift each other memberships. It's very easy, if you're already in here. For example, gifted memberships. But yes, I just keep both. Keep both. Yeah. I don't know about the Patreon thing, but hey ho. Do I like older ships? I love older ships. Yes, I think there's some really nice things about them. Oh my god, just bear with me. Some bans in here, banning people. Okay, can we have a nice question? Someone sent me something nice. There's some weird things going on here. Oh, I gifted myself a membership. Oh no, oops. Yeah, don't let YouTube own your business. Yeah, no one owns my newsletter. Is the only way I can contact people really. So, for viewers who tuned in late, can you explain your basic setup, where you are based, what work you do? Oh my goodness, what work I do? I can't answer that. That's too hard. My basic setup is, do you mean in terms of tech? Here I have 2 big lights and I'm filming this on an iPhone. I use my iPhone to film most of my videos. I have a Canon M50 I use to film my sit-down videos. This is a Blue Yeti and I use a Tascam mic when I'm doing my regular videos. For the tech, I also use an Insta360. I have a DJ Pocket 2, and I think that's mostly it for the tech. I have lots of, storage, hard drives, batteries, stuff like that, but that's it for the tech. What work do I do? So where you see me is probably on YouTube. I make videos on YouTube. I do live streams here. I make content for my website. As many people see my website content as they do my YouTube, but my face isn't on it, so I don't think it's as obvious. I'm across all of the social accounts, of course I am. I work with travel agents in the UK and the US. We have merchandise. We're selling Captain Hudson toys for a charity called Mercy Ships. We raised over £100,000 for them last year, which is crazy. And I'm writing Captain Hudson's children's books at the moment, which is cool. We also have Patreon. We have memberships. And I think that's mostly it. But that's quite a lot of stuff, yes. But it's good fun. I love it. Is a website a necessity for a YouTube content creator? I would say absolutely yes, because you can't, if you're trying to get people's email addresses, like I just said, no one owns YouTube. The only way you can really do that is to send them to your website. You might as well, if you're already creating content, also put it on your website. If people are googling, MSEC view review, they'll come across my stuff on there. So yeah, I would say absolutely. It doesn't have to be, mine has thousands of pages on it, but it doesn't have to be like that. It can just be what they call a brochure website, something like that, and that would be cool. What was your education and prior job? I studied maths and business at university, joint honors, and I worked in data development for a group of car insurers. Why did I leave that for cruising? I'll let you think about that one. But yes. Yeah, website is good for more in-depth info. It absolutely is. Yes, it is. It is. Um, oh, oh my goodness. My comments are jumping up and down. I would like to. Oh, don't know what button I pressed there. That wasn't good. But yeah, the discount this week, I can't see where the question's gone, but the discount is just gonna cruise. Cruiser's gonna cruise. So I design all of these t-shirts, of course. I don't print them out myself. That is done by factories in mostly Florida, somewhere in the UK. But I design all of these things as well. Love these. Are you good with computers, like programming? So I feel like as a business owner, you become sort of good at a lot of things, because when my website goes down, I have to manage all of that stuff. So I don't remember my job anymore. But yeah, I used to program in, well, code in SAS. Can't do that anymore. But I would be asking AI about that. That was fast. iPhone 360. If you go to emmacruises.com and type in blogging, I think I have all of my tech on there. If you also just search Emma Cruises Amazon, I have a storefront, has all of my tech that I use. Hopefully that's useful. Um, just noticed the shirt, best one yet. Thank you. I like this one. I think this is a good one to wear, obviously on a cruise, but it's also a nice one to wear outside of cruising. I wear this one quite a lot. I wear these t-shirts every day. I have just a big pile of them because they're nice and long, they're nice and soft, they fit nicely under jumpers, and I just like them. Oh my goodness, so many weird people in here today. Weird comments. Weird things. Things that it's so weird, the things people say on the internet that they would never come up and say to you in your face because they'd be arrested. Yeah. No, thinking I need your disembarkation shirt. That is, I think, our most popular shirt, that one. And I take it on every cruise, so I get it. Can you claim your cruise cost against your income? I think people, I don't know. I think people misunderstand this. So I have a business, right? And my business, it's my business. I own it. I buy cruises with it, and then I make money from creating content on cruises, and then there's profit, and then I pay myself salary. Right. I think some people think, oh, when it's a tax write-off. Isn't there a Family Guy sketch about this where he thinks he doesn't have to pay for it at all because it's just coming out from my business rather than my bank. Right? It's still me. It's my business. I'm the only director of my business. Yeah. Um. Oh my goodness, so many absolute um in the comments. Uh. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I could just sit here and read the comments. There's so many interesting things in here. Try to get a region cruise for free. Not top of my to-do list. I could do that. I like to keep a really clear line between when I am on a normal cruise and when I am working with a cruise line. And if I'm working with a cruise line, I'm doing things for them. I'm making content for their YouTube channel. I'm doing stuff for their website. I'm trying to grow their Instagram. I'm working for them to do something. And the rest of the time, I'm just paid for it myself, normal cruise. I don't really want to get into, I could cruise for free all the time if I wanted to, because, you know, for the sake of a cruise line giving me a cruise and I'm going to show it to hundreds of thousands of people, makes good business sense for them. But I don't want to muddy that water. It's either a normal cruise or I'm have a reason, to do something. So that's how I keep it. Love the way you say Amazon. I know you've heard that before. I cannot in my head think of any other way to say Amazon than Amazon. I really can't. Do any channels inspire you? Who do you watch? I watch a lot of cruising, of course, but I watch a lot of random things. really random things. And I think that's the good thing about YouTube. You don't have to do the things that you're watching. So yeah, I was sort of in when like I don't know, early 2010s there was like the really big British YouTuber craze. Like the first thing I ever bought when I had my own money and I had a job was YouTuber merchandise. I'm not going to say which one because he's sort of done some bad things since then. But yeah. Would you base out of Monaco to save on tax like tennis players? No. This is what I'm saying. Amazon. 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 I don't know how to say that. Oh, interesting. Oh, Bob's just booked a cruise through my US team. Thank you for the recommendation. You are very welcome. Dan has taught me so much about the US cruise market. It's very, very different from the UK. The way you say pasta is the best. Thank you. Pasta. So many. Yeah, I can't think of any other way to say Amazon. Not at all. Do you check cruise mapper and port cameras to feel like you're there, or is that just me? Maybe I'm the weird one. What I do that I think is weird is I will go on a cruise and I will go on YouTube and I will search for videos of that cruise ship in 2004. And I'll be like, oh look, they changed the casino into a cafe. That's so interesting. To me, that's really interesting. I don't know if anyone else finds that interesting, but this is the sort of weird things that I would want to put on a podcast, like how they cut cruise ships in half sometimes. That's interesting, right? I think so. Maybe we'll launch a series that's, I don't know, 8 episodes or something of weird things that Emma thinks are interesting about cruise ships. Do you ever get tired of this or look to do something different? Absolutely not. I think the thing about sort of being in charge of a business is it feels like I'm running 8 different businesses that are all so different. So if I'm bored of, you know, I don't know what I would even be bored of. Something, but there's always something else that's completely different. I think I am sort of addicted to the business running part of it. I love like keeping up to date with all the different things and I don't know. I love that stuff. Oh. Interesting. I work for Disney marketing and you may be heading to the Treasure for the maiden voyage. That would be lovely. I have taken one Disney cruise, but it was not a true reflection of a Disney cruise. It was just after the pandemic. It went nowhere. Like literally went nowhere. I have lost my little oh no, my banner's back. My banner is back. I wanted to just show you some more of my drawings if that is okay. Because I put these together and I've actually not needed as many sneezing breaks as I thought. So I'll be back in 30 seconds. Oh, that's such a lovely comment here. I'm back. It says, I love that you love the business part and don't see it as an evil to pursue your creative side. Yes, I never thought I had a creative side when I started all this stuff. Do you edit your own content? I don't anymore. My brother does. Amazing. I did the first 450 perhaps, and then I taught him out how to edit. I figured I could either hire an editor who knew how to edit and try and teach them how to Emma, right? Or I can find someone who knows me and teach them how to edit. So I taught my brother and it's been absolutely perfect. Brilliant. I don't have to, other than saying, oh, that's not flattering. Can you please change that? Other than that, it does a brilliant job. When can we order the books? Not yet. I'm not quite ready yet, but hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. I lost the comment. Do you think about business 24/7? Do you take weekends off? I've never taken a weekend off. I think about it even in my dreams because I love it. That's the thing. This is my hobby. This started as my hobby, right? So I don't know. I don't know. I find everything else much more boring. How cool is it to like part of my work is to look through the drawings that an amazing illustrator made of the cat book. Like how can you get bored of that? So cool. Um, we're thinking when they're going to be available is in June, is what I'm thinking. What I'm planning on doing is getting a very small selection of them, probably Patreons, I think, if you guys are okay with it. I'll send you those to proofread them because we've proofread it 1,000 times, but you still never know. And we'll see how that goes. And then we'll open it up. We'll do pre order, I think, and then they'll be ready to go. But it'll just be through Amazon, so it'll be very fast. Yes. Oh, Kim says it's so cool you can make a living off your hobby. It is unbelievable. It is absolutely crazy. Never started with a business plan at all. I don't know what motivated me, to be honest, for the first 5 years when people weren't watching. But then that's why I didn't mind doing it. You know, if I came straight into this and there were 700 people watching my first live stream, I would have just cried. But we've grown up together, right? I think it's soon it's going to be a decade, which is crazy. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming to our live stream. I'm really impressed that my voice has held out. I'm actually not going to be live next week. I'm going to be traveling, and you're going to like it. So please make sure I have your email address because that's how you can find out when these live streams are. emmacruises.com/news. And it'll always say in there, it'll always say when the next live stream is. Even if it's 2 weeks away, it'll have the next live stream date. Yes. So thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to go and have a pizza and I'm going to go and put ketchup on it because that's how I like to end my Fridays. Okay. Thanks, guys.